The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
A new owner is actually the old owner. That's right. Woody Johnson could be out. Chirs Johnson could be back. We'll talk about how the Jets are directly impacted by Trump winning the election last night. It's the Jake Asman Show. Will Parkinson will join us. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
We didn't let the outside noise and world divide us. That game right there represents exactly where the process of this thing is. We're all we got. We're all we need, man. That's it.
Your first win, man.
Yeah.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Before we get started, I want to make it clear. This is not a political show, so please be respectful in the comment section, whether you're watching live or after the fact. We are simply going to discuss the Jets' impact of last night's election involving Woody Johnson and Christopher Johnson, because there obviously is a potential impact. We saw what happened last time Trump won. Woody was away from the team for 4 years as the ambassador to the UK. So please be respectful in the comments. We're all Jet fans here, I assume. If you're watching this video, we're all as maniacs. So that is my PSA to all. Whether you voted right or left, it does not matter. Be respectful to everyone in the chat. Joining us right now is the great Will Parkinson, the host of the Turn on the Jets podcast. Will, happy Wednesday to you.
Anything going on in the world, Jake?
Well, yesterday was the trade deadline, and the Jets jettisoned Mike Williams for a fifth-round pick, if you want to weigh in on that.
Yeah. I'll say that the timing is a little kind of sucks, just because, obviously with Lazard banged up right now, and you'd like to have some more depth there, but Williams has kind of not really been a big part of this offense. Obviously, he's kind of been playing big slot, which it is what it is. Maybe this means more Corley, I guess more Gibson, etc. They definitely are a little thin at receiver in terms of depth while Lazard's out, but look, they got a fifth-round pick for a guy who's not going to be here in 8 weeks, and it seems like the Steelers picked up a bit of money on his deal. So, I think was it really surprising? I think the only reason you thought maybe that Williams wouldn't get traded was the Lazard injury, but other than that, I don't really have a problem. And it seemed like the Steelers trade was going to go down before the Steelers game, anyways, based on Schefter's wording of the report at the time, and then obviously what it looked like now.
No doubt. And look, I think the timing is the thing you question, because if there's another injury now, you start to get really, really thin at receiver. I mean, Xavier Gibson right now is figuring to play in your starting 11 if you go 11 personnel. But
maybe some more two-back stuff again. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I hope this maybe means more of a role for Malachi Corley. I know he had a huge mess up the other night, but you basically told everyone how much you love the guy. You tried to get into the middle of the second round to trade up for him. He was the first pick of the third round. The only positive of dealing Mike Williams, who, let's not act like he's done a whole lot with the Jets, but he's still at least a name, a presence. I just hope it means we get to see Corley out there doing something, because otherwise you're really thin at receiver. And the offense is going to be funneled through Devontae and Garrett and Breece, and that's enough if they're healthy. But, in typical Jet luck, one of those guys gets hurt, and then you're really reeling. So hopefully they get some luck here.
It was so weird. Week 2 and 3, I felt like Williams had a nice role. He was starting to look like himself a little bit, had that big, nice back shoulder, go ball. And I think it was 2nd and 16 or something like that. In week 2 against the Titans, I felt like a momentum play. Week 3, he drew a PI, and I think he had 1 or 2 other plays where, if I'm not mistaken, were same thing, nice back shoulder, kind of 25-yard go ball. And then, week 4 happens. He's off the field on that big third down where Xavier Gipson's playing X or is playing the Z spot. And ever since then, like the play that ends the Jets game against Minnesota is to Mike Williams. The play that ends the game against Buffalo is to Mike Williams. There's the red line stuff. I felt like he had the one play against the Steelers on 4th down, but other than that was not really used well. Rodgers and him just were clearly not on the same page. And, he's a guy that didn't look super fast, coming off the ACL. So it's a shame it didn't end up working out. The Jets have dead money until 2028 with him. It's very minimal, but it's very annoying that the deal is structured that they'll be paying $1 million of their cap until the next election for Mike Williams. But again, 5th round pick. Again, it's nice for whoever the next GM, will be to have, more picks. Obviously, they have no 3rd. They'll have an extra 5th.
They do have a 3rd.
Well, they do have a 3rd. Yes, I apologize. They do have a 3rd, and they now have an extra 5th for a guy.
By the way,
was not
next
be here.
GM might still actually be the current GM because Douglas making this move doesn't that kind of signal a little bit of something? Like, why would he make a move?
Sure
for the
Woody
future?
Woody wasn't all fired up yesterday and just started wheeling and dealing. Joe. I guess the good news is Joe's awake. It seems we have not heard or seen him in quite some time. Maybe the Jets would have to go on a run for them to retain Douglas.
I agree, but I think a run could be like 8 and 9, and then it's like, well, the talent's there. They just didn't have the coach. But I wouldn't agree with this strategy, but I could definitely see Chirs Johnson will get to whether or not he might be the acting owner being like, I don't trust myself to hire a GM and a coach. I'll just stick with Douglas, who's done a better job than the previous 2 GMs.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're not wrong. It just to me feels like they're in a spot where I'd rather. There's like 4 scenarios, and I guess we might as well talk about this now. There's like my ideal scenario. There's the kind of my ideal scenario, the one I wouldn't love but would be open to, and the nightmare one. The one that's my dream scenario, which we've talked about, I tweeted about, people in Badlands have talked about, obviously. They bring in the football czar, CEO of operations. It doesn't have to be Pete Carroll, but, the Parcells type of role, right? Again, not Bill Parcells. He's in his 80s. But that type of guy that comes in, kind of reestablishes a culture, hires all these football people, improves the scouting department, improves some of the coaching staff, et cetera. Off the field stuff. That with a Mike Vrabel and pick your GM, like that'd be awesome. There's the Mike Vrabel type of coach that comes here, maybe the more culture changer that comes in, or maybe it's a Liam Cohen from the Bucs or something like that. That's either one of those type of guys with a GM and they just roll for like that. There's the Rex Ryan retread-ish type guy, with maybe a younger GM, and Rex is kind of more the rah-rah culture guy and the GM behind the scenes. And then there's the nightmare scenario of a crappy coordinator and a bad GM. Like, let's just hope we don't get anywhere near that. Let's try to stray maybe towards the middle side of things. So they'll have a lot of options. It'll just be interesting to see what actually unfolds, this offseason.
So we'll get into Trump winning last night, the impact it potentially has on Woody going away and Chirs Johnson now stepping in as the day-to-day owner. But first, just an injury update live in real time from Jeff Ulbrich, who's speaking for the first time this week as Cardinals week is officially underway. Here's what we know. Offensive line remains banged up, not practicing today. Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith, they're getting a veteran rest day. Jake Hansen and John Simpson and AVT all not practicing. It appears like there's some hope with Simpson playing. AVT dealing with the high ankle sprain. Sounds like he might be at least another week away, which means are we going to see Olu Fashanu start at guard, a position he has never played at any level until this past Thursday when he had to step in on an emergency basis?
Yeah, not ideal. The Cardinals, again, are not a great defense, but not ideal. Gut feeling, I apologize. Gut feeling would be that maybe Simpson plays and they start Olu at right guard is maybe the hope, and then you hope that maybe you get AVT back that Sunday night. It would be a little bit annoying if AVT doesn't come back till post bye week because they didn't IR him, and I think you could add another body. It is what it is. Hansen again, maybe. I believe both guys had soft tissue injuries, so offensive line wise, it's very much touch and go with those. It's kind of how you're feeling. that day and different things like that. At least inside on grass, maybe gives it a better chance that any of these guys go. Jake, it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting who plays. They had the mini bye week, so you hope that gives a shot even to guys like Sauce, Reed, Devontae, guys that got banged up in that game, Michael Carter. I'd start Olu at right guard or left guard, whatever. I maybe just start him at right guard because, him and Moses seem to have some good chemistry. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, can they get through these 2 weeks? This is like, can you get to 5 and 6 and then get healthy over the bye week? Find a way, gut through it, whatever you got to do, because then you'll have 2 weeks off, 2 games in 30 days to get, some of your older guys healthy and then some of your younger guys that are banged up healthy as well. So
looking at some of the other injury notes from Obrick, CJ Mosley had a couple of procedures on his neck to loosen it up. He won't practice today. That's at least encouraging because I feared for the worst for CJ when I heard neck situation, older player, couldn't really move it, they said in the locker room after the game. So that's at least a positive that it's not like he's done for the year automatically. So
yeah, I just, to me, feels like Mosley's a guy that hopefully we see before the bye, but I don't know. I almost feel like even when he had the toe, it felt like it was probably best to let him like fully recover, especially the way Sherwood's played, where he's been admirable. CJ Mosley's still a better player, but he's been good. And you hope, again, can you get to 5 and 6 and get 2 extra weeks to recover for the Mosleys of the world? Obviously Rodgers, but Tyron Smith 2 weeks off. Can you get Simpson and AVT? Like, so much of the season hinges on these 2 games because you can seriously start to talk yourself into, hey, at 5 and 6, 2 weeks off, 2 games in 30 days after playing 9 games in 53 days, 4 short weeks, traveling to Europe, like all this different stuff, the body gets beat up. And you hope that if they could find a way, especially this week, to make it through, that, hey, kind of start to talk yourself into a very confident and hot team on top of getting healthy at the right time that's the whole reason, Jake, that early on in the year, you were like, damn, the bye's so late. But you were also like, hey, man, if you could find any way to be relevant by week 12, that 2-week extra bye when everyone else is beat up and a lot of teams already had their bye early in the year is beneficial. And I think that's why the Jets took their bye when they did, as opposed to right after London, which in hindsight, they probably should have taken after London based on the way they played when they came back. But can they gut through this performance against Arizona, with the injuries and get back as close as they can to full strength at this point in the season?
Also, one more injury update here. Haven't heard about this guy in forever. I'm shocked he's actually still with us. Wes Schweitzer, who's on injured reserve, still working through a hand injury. So there's your Wes Schweitzer update. I've not heard that name in a long time, to quote Obi-Wan in Star Wars: A New Hope.
Jake, would you say maybe it's time in the offseason to find a different guy to be your 6th offensive lineman as the interior guy that does not get hurt every time he puts on pads? Great guy, is an admirable backup.
Do we know he's a great guy, or we're just throwing that out there to be nice?
50-50.
Okay. I'm just asking. I mean, dude, maybe you do.
I know most of them. That's not somebody I have interacted with. His Twitter seems quite interesting. He's like a rock climbing guy that like seems to be into nature. Seems like a nice guy. But yeah, I think it's more so that like his body is part of the reason he's not a starter in the league. Like it's the truth. When you can't stay healthy as an offensive lineman, like you will become that kind of rotational piece. And it's unfortunate, man, but he's just always hurt. It's the concussions, it's the foot, it's the leg, it's the groin, it's the hand. Like, it stinks, and it's a shame because he does make a couple $1 million, and like Jake Hansen probably is a better player anyways. That makes like $500K. Maybe you could use $2 million elsewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Appreciate everyone supporting the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you guys check out Will's podcast covering the Jets. TOJ, Turn on the Jets, or Will's weekly podcast he does on Badlands, which you can access through Patreon. The big fella with a super chat, then we'll get to the Trump impact on the Jets here momentarily. Not closing a deal with Quentin Jefferson is a disgrace. So I agree. I really wanted Quentin Jefferson to come back to the Jets. However, you find out today he's signing with the Bills. And I think, Will, it might simply come down to the fact one team is in first place in the AFC East and definitely going to the playoffs. Another team is 3-6, and they lose on Sunday. They're likely cooked for the rest of the year. I think that probably had a lot to do with Quentin Jefferson's decision, because obviously it made too much sense for the Jets to bring this guy back. But until we know what exactly led to his decision to sign with Buffalo, I'm leaning with that's probably what played a big part into it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, a couple things. One, I haven't asked. I don't know. Do we know that the Jets tried yesterday? I mean, it seemed like all the reporting, from the beat was like, hey, this is the one to watch. But it seemed like the Jets wanted him back in the offseason, but weren't aggressive enough, and he left. And maybe there was I don't know if, again, I have no idea, but in this situation, but maybe there was 5% of bad blood, and it was like, hey, Buffalo's the 2 seed. I want to try to win a title, and right now it looks like a better opportunity, as you mentioned. I don't know if it was simply up to playing time. I don't know. He made a lot of sense just because I feel like he's a more proven guy and he's better reps than Clemens or Thomas and other guys. But at the same time, the one move that the Jets didn't make yesterday, that I don't know, maybe we'll see in the next week or two. Maybe they win this week and Woody's open and spending like another $1 million or $2. Is like, is there anybody that gets cut or they can bring in to be like just a bigger body on early downs? Again, Al Woods never felt like it was going to happen because, again, 36-year-old, 340-pound guy tearing their Achilles. We saw it with Chirs Jenkins. It ends you, although I'm sure Chirs Jenkins could still give the Jets a few 5 to 6 snaps of efficiency. The Sione Pua wants to play football because that's the kind of guy. They just need somebody on first and second down who's a little bit more stout and can eat a double team so that you can free Quinnen up. Because right now, you don't want Quinnen to be your guy that's like, he's as good as he is, like, and he's going to get doubled because of how good he is. But it kind of sucks when he gets doubled and triple teamed, and then it's like, oh wow, we have our second defensive tackles not beating enough blocks 1-on-1, and there's bad rush lane discipline. Like, that's just the one spot you would have loved to see them maybe add potentially just a run stuffing first and second down player, early downs and short yardage stuff that they don't really have it on the roster at the moment.
Need that
Lucky
big
Foot is
fatty.
not good. Yeah, you need a fat mother effer just in the middle eating blocks.
That's right. We're not PC today. We need a big fatty. Adam says, Will, one of the best guests. Great show as always. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate
Thanks, man.
you.
I appreciate that.
Big fella says, Will describing Schweitzer sounds a lot like AVT. Real quick on AVT. Obviously, we know when he plays, he's really good, but I mean, they already picked up his 5th-year option, so he'll be back next year, I'd imagine. But man, it's just so disappointing that 3rd year in a row he's dealing with an injury. Hopefully he's back, if not this week, next week. They didn't put him on IR, which lends you to believe that they didn't think it was going to be a 4-game injury. But if he doesn't play this week, it's going to end up being basically 4 games.
Yeah, I wonder if sorry, I just saw a funny tweet. Yeah, I wonder if they're so hesitant to rush him back that he would get hurt again. I think that may be it. They had the short week last week. It would just kind of stink if he can't go this week, just because it's like, hey, totally get missing the first time, second time. He's missed what? New England, Pittsburgh. No,
he got hurt in Pittsburgh. So New England and now Houston,
right? So that
Arizona.
Makes sense. Arizona, if he's out past the Colts game, that would be really concerning.
Because they would have the bye in between. Yeah, that'd be
right.
Really bad.
I would say like maybe they're targeting the Colts game, 1 game, and then get him rolling. A short week makes sense. I just think, hey, we the mini bye and like not to really get a lot of guys back.
He's not practicing today though, so it doesn't sound like he's going to play this week.
Yeah, I would say like Hansen and Simpson with soft tissues feel more likely. But again, I kind of would be ideal if you play Olu anyways, just the way he played last week, and there seems to be a little bit of a confidence there with the rest of the offensive line and his physical ability.
100%. Real quick, Jesus Jerry with a super chat. Then we get to Mr. Woody and Trump and the impact on the Jets. Will, Kyler, Connor, McBride, Harrison, Dortch. How high are you on them? Who is on McBride, spying Kyler, and stopping Connor? All right, Will, you're the Jets defensive coordinator this week. You're Jeff Ulbrich, Aaron White-Cotton and company. What's the game plan to slow down this Cardinals offense?
Yeah, definitely not I would definitely play more zone just because I think, if you end up in man, you allow Kyler to kind of get one-on-one with anybody, which the thing is, who knows with Kyler? Because last week he didn't run at all. The week before he ran a bunch. Kyler's how into the game is he going to be? I do think it's a good thing. The Cardinals are kind of riding high right now. They play a Bears team that has not won under Matt Eberflus in 18 appearances on Sunday on the road. It's the craziest stat I've ever heard in the NFL. Yeah, I feel like you want to get as much Quincy and or maybe your Sherwood and James Conner one-on-one. Maybe you have Quincy spy a little bit. I would kind of mix and match depending on stuff. Some Jalen Mills, some Michael Carter on McBride, and just try to take him a little bit out of the game. I think Harrison, DJ Reed on Dortch and Harrison on Sauce. Like this should be a good get right game for Sauce. Marvin Harrison's a really good player. He's going to be a really good player, but not for nothing. Like that's why you have Sauce. Maybe this is a matchup he needs, right? I think we've talked about it. I feel like he's had a lot of these like, oh man, like he's kind of sleeping through this game a little bit, or where's the focus at? And he isn't traveling and all these different stuff. Kind of feels like to me, maybe it's a hey, played this guy in college, like that type of everyone is super high on Marv and I don't have it, and the 10 days off. Maybe Sauce got away from things a little bit. You hope, and he's going to come back and be like, big time matchup for me. Anytime I'm on Marv, I got to be locked up. But yeah, this is going to be a lot of the Jets tackling, some quarterback spy stuff, blitzing Kyler at opportune times. The Jets are the best team in the NFL about when they blitz. They're great at blitzing. 75% of the time they get pressure. But this is going to be just tackling, man. This is just like limit everything to the 3-yard gains, not the 8 yards. The Kyler run for 6 is fine. The Kyler run for 26 is unhelpful. And just running the football, Q, Reddick, and Will McDonald have a chance to have a really big night, big afternoon. And if they do that, it's also that if the Jets offense comes out early, Jake, the Jets don't need to stop the run at the same clip because the Cardinals are going to have to throw, and then you can start heating them up. This is they started pretty decent under Ulbrich, 3 of the 4 games. The only game they've obviously collapsed in the second half in 3 of the 4. But and last week was different. But hey, maybe they carry that momentum. Hey, get out to a 7-0 lead, 10-0 lead, put the Cardinals under some fire early on, and maybe you get a bad Kyler game. We've seen it happen. When Kyler goes bad, he starts to spiral. But when he's really good, he's an MVP level player. So I just spy, tackle well, and then rush lane discipline is so key in this game. Will McDonald and Reddick are really good at rushing the passer. You gotta try to not like over rush every time, because that's where they got in trouble. The only times with Stroud was when they over rushed a little too much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Will Parkinson. Hit the like button, super chats, cut the line. We're looking for more channel memberships. We got to add some new channel emojis. We need an emoji refresh. So if you want to become an official Asmaniac, hit that join button and support the show that way. All right, well, big night last night for America and a huge night potentially for the future of the New York Jets. I'm going to read Connor Hughes of SNY, his tweet on this, and then we'll break it down here, right? Hold on. Let's go a little bigger here. Quote, I don't talk politics on here and won't start, and neither do we, by the way. We're keeping this strictly football, so please be respectful in the comments. I don't care who you voted for. We're all Asmaniacs on this channel, and that's all that matters. But Trump winning the election could have a direct impact on the Jets. If Woody Johnson returns as ambassador to the UK, he cannot maintain day-to-day control of the New York Jets. During Trump's last presidency, Woody's brother Christopher ran the team. Those I touched base with expect the same thing to happen again, although not finalized. We'll see. Christopher Johnson is well respected by players and coaches for his authenticity. Those I talked to stressed how much they feel he cares for them. Certainly made mistakes first time around, but many feel he's learned from them and will be better prepared if given the opportunity again. I can attest to Chris being very personable in my one 100%. Interaction I had with him. Certainly way more personable than Woody in the one time I met them at the Hall of Fame ceremony last summer. And I also could tell you this. When I was in London in October, Chris was there mingling with fans, taking pictures with people. But I learned from a lot of Asmaniacs who are based in the UK who were at the Jets game against the Falcons in 2021. It was right after they had fired Gase the previous year. Saleh was in his first year. Chris Johnson, I was told, was going around talking to fans and actually apologizing to them for how bad the team has been and for being part of the ownership group that hired Adam Gase. So he at least understood how big of a mistake that was, where he was apologizing to the fans at the Jets pub in London in 2021. Multiple Jet fans told me that when I was in the UK last month. So I say all that to now say, if it is going to be Chris running the team, to me, nothing changes from the standpoint that you have to hire the right people to run the team. And until the Jets get that right, they're never going to get out of the mess they've been in, this abyss they've been in for the last 14 years, missing the playoffs.
Yeah, a couple of things. One, Yeah. I guess I would say this. First of all, we have no idea what's going to happen with Woody. I don't know. I don't think anyone really truly knows. Maybe Trump decides that thanks for the cash, Woody, but different job, or I don't, you know what I mean? Like maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Until that happens, again, obviously this is all speculation. If Chris does take over as acting owner, or whatever you want to call it, or interim owner, whatever the F that is, I think the biggest things for Chris are he's well respected by the players because, again, he's more personable. He's not quite as trigger happy and different things like that. Although Woody gets this thing is he fires people all the time. Like he's giving Joe Douglas 100 games. So
Todd Bowles got 4 years. Rex Ryan got 6 years. Right. I mean, come on now. McCagnon got 5 years. Come on.
Right. So I think if I want to process this, the biggest thing for Chris is going to be to not be influenced by like the flashy item, the flashy name that endorses somebody. Very similar to politics. As we know, it's not about necessarily everyone's favorite celebrity on both sides of the aisle. It's about the people that are kind of the backbone making those decisions and who you surround yourself with. Chirs Johnson has to almost view this like it's an election and he's running for president, and who are the best people that are going to go out and help him win his game, right? Or win games. And, whether it's bringing in somebody, that can run football operations, that kind of takes that burden off him. Hey, my big hire is going to be going out and getting that football operations guy that's going to make all these decisions. They're going to have to interview with me. I'm going to make the final call, but I want to spend money on a guy that's going to help me make the football decisions. Not a Charlie Casserly, not people on the business side, a football guy or girl to come in and help me make those decisions and hire the right GM, hire the right head coach, invest money in my scouting department, invest money in performance and analytics. That's where I think Chris can do a really nice job. And then it comes down to, there was reports, I guess, that, potentially Rodgers, make sure, hey, Rodgers, Devontae, some of these veterans that are maybe in the 1 to 2 year window. Hey, Chris, let's get on the same page here. I'm invested in through 2025. What can we do to get this thing right? How, what are we missing? What can we do? How can we be a part of the solution? Take advice, but not take Aaron's word for everything, right? Or, take advice from, maybe it's bringing in Rex Ryan as a consultant. Maybe it's not as a head coach. Maybe it's have him come in the building and, just be around and kind of get people buy into I don't know, whatever it may be. And I know it's a long-winded answer, Jake, and probably, I guess, not as specific as people want, but like, if Chris can do one thing right in this next cycle, it's hiring the right football guy, whether it's a GM, coach, and or maybe that football operations executive to come in and help him make decisions. Because he has to know, and maybe this is where I hope he's learned, he doesn't have to make every decision. He doesn't have to be involved in every trade. He doesn't have to be involved. Like, yeah, obviously you go to the owner for, a sign off on a big free agent, a trade, etc. But I feel like Chris is less driven about the media narrative and maybe more about the fans. And I think Woody's maybe the opposite, which is why you get the cool move like a Rodgers, but you also get, some of the Tebows and things like that. So I truly hope that if Woody does go and become the ambassador again, and Chris is the Jets acting owner, as much as he's well respected by the players, it's doing right by the entire organization and saying, hey man, this isn't my expertise. Like, I want to go and get somebody that this is their blood, sweat, and tears. This is their life to know football people. And I'm going to help you get this right. And people will love me a lot more if the Jets win games than about just bringing in the flashy item.
Well said. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, how about Board Fat stepping up to the plate and giving us a 10 spot of channel memberships? Yeah.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Oh, baby. Here we go. M30, Jack Brooks, Dicker the Kicker, Robert Walsh, Steve Aquatics, Orlando Arriaga, DC the Gentleman, Brandon Harper, Professionally Certified Hater, Capsized, all receiving a channel membership from Board Fat. He might be bored. He might be fat, but he's got money. And he just spent it on 10 memberships. Adam HW also getting in on the membership gifting game. Ladies and gentlemen, this membership went to Hannah. So congrats to Hannah on getting a membership. If you want a membership, they might be flying off the shelves this morning. Click on either Board Fat's name in the live chat or Adam's name in the live chat and click the setting, hey, I want to receive a gifted membership. And if someone gifts a membership, as long as you're subscribed to the channel and you like this video right now, you got a chance to get one. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in this morning. Will, as far as like the future of this team, I do think Trump winning is actually good for Joe Douglas. Call me crazy, but I think Chris will maybe not want to rock the boat, so to speak, and have to hire both GM and coach, and he might defer to Douglas because Woody's the one on the record saying this is the most talented team in 25 years he's had as an owner. So I think it would be unpopular by many in the fan base to leave Douglas in charge after missing the playoffs and getting 100 games and not making the playoffs in any of those seasons. But if they truly believe in the talent of the team, and as long as they don't bottom out here and win only 5 games, let's say they win eight games, or maybe it's 9-8, but they miss the playoffs, I think there's a path for Chris to say, look, my big hire was Adam Gase. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave Douglas in charge and give him another chance at hiring the coach. I don't know if that's the right move, but I definitely could see that happening. I don't think it's as foregone of a conclusion as maybe some think that Douglas is definitely gone no matter what happens if they miss the playoffs.
Yeah. It also would take Joe Douglas wanting to be here as well. And no one knows the answer to that. Just we don't hear from him ever. Yeah, it'll be interesting, Jake, to see again just what type of it's such a weird conversation in the aspect of the Jets have every chance of bottoming out this year, right? And being bad and being a 6-11 team that everyone's can't wait to hire the head coach and the GM. Or they have a team that wins 9 or 10 games here, and I don't think they'll win 11 because I don't think they're going 8-0 or whatever. But there's a chance that, like, I don't know, they get to the second round of the playoffs and they're back where everyone thought they were going to be, and it's like, wow, this job's pretty cool. Like, I'd argue that while this Jets job's not overly appealing, I do think having Rodgers back here another year and Devontae and some of these other guys, and the Jets having some semblance of success this year, whether it's 8 or 9 wins and just missing out, or they get to the playoffs, or maybe they do well in the playoffs. Who knows? Being able for this GM and head coach to come in, draft a quarterback, throw them on ice for a year. They get to learn. There's zero pressure to play. For the first time ever since Chad Pennington, they actually can sit the rookie quarterback in the first round and let him develop. Yep. And that first year GM and head coach get to go try to win 9, 10, 11, 12 games next year with a pretty good roster and an opportunity to maybe win around the margins. Maybe you're 2 or 3 games better in 1-score games. And now they got that first year. Oh, wow. They won 11 games, 10 games as a rookie head coach, rookie GM combo. And now when the Jets kind of go through a mini rebuild with the rookie quarterback, it's their own guy. The Cap's in a better situation. So I hope Chris approaches this with a short and a long-term thinking on these hires. And how do we go win football games, but how do we consistently win football games and build the right culture over the next 3, 4, 5 years?
We're presented today by my Patreon, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. We're just 15 Patreon users away from 500. So thank you to the best fans in sports for the support. Thank you to 8Path, Jerry Moore, Jet Set Go, Nicholas F., Kevin Bracco, and Chris Coyle for being our most recent Patreon subscribers. If you want to join the Patreon for less than a cup of coffee a month, you'll gain Discord access, exclusive shows that are not on YouTube every single month. Of course, your name added to the intro and 15% off every merch item at jakeasman.com. Super chat here from KJH. Would Woody possibly gone? Wouldn't it make sense for a John Dorsey, Pete Carroll type being brought in as president of football ops? You brought up Carroll earlier, Will. John Dorsey would be tremendous because everywhere this guy has gone, he has built an infrastructure where that team has eventually won.
Yeah. Open to both. Very much open to both. I believe Dorsey's with the Lions, or was with the Lions. And, obviously Carroll knows this market well and has done it at USC, has done it with the Seahawks. That's, competitive for a very long time. So both guys are very much good shouts. It won't be Belichick, but again, it's somebody in that, hey, I've been around the NFL a long time. I know the smartest people. I know what it takes to win. And I know how to hire and have a good relationship around the league that I can bring in, the right pieces to help make this organization sustainable. I think that's what people don't talk about enough with Parcells. Guys he hired also hired what helped them be good for like a 12-year run of, I think they made the playoffs 6 times, right? 3 conference title games, and over that 12-year run. And like, I think it was the Parcells groundwork of the staffs he hired, the scouts, the front office folks, the culture he brought to the Jets that made them really good. And by the end of things, right, obviously it flamed out in 2011, but it's a pretty damn good run, man, from 97 really through 2011, where as bad as this 14-year run's been, that 14-year run was the direct opposite. And a lot of people at our age, Jake, the reason it's hard for us to always be like doom and gloom is because the first 13 years or whatever, first 16 years of my life, like the Jets were pretty much good or, had a chance to be good every year, generally speaking. Got to have someone that's going to come and lay the foundation for sustained success and get some of the same old Jets BS kind of out of the building.
Citybird with a super chat. Woody gets a cabinet and sells the team tax-free. I don't see that happening. His son has been more and more involved over the last couple of years on the phone, the draft picks and the locker. Like, it's going to stay in the family. I don't see Woody selling the team anytime soon. I think it's going to remain in the Johnson family.
Brick. Yeah.
Brick Johnson. Is that his actual name?
Yeah.
Now we know why Jeff Ober got the job.
Yeah. He was on. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get Brick.
Yeah, I think there's no reason for the Johnsons to sell. And it's a cash cow.
Right.
Like
they've run the team horribly.
I know everyone wants them to, and I get it
every year.
Like the Wilpons probably only, maybe this is revisionist history. The Wilpons sold the Mets because they had to, because they had no money. Like unless there's a Madoff scheme coming, I don't know that the Jets are like, yeah. What are the Johnsons doing with the $8 billion they make when they sell the team? You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't just buy another team. Like it is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Huga House has 6 new hats out. Use promo code Asman and get one for yourself. You'll save 15% at checkout. Buy one hat. Second hat is 30% off. HUEGAhouse.com. Promo code Asman at checkout for 15% off. We're talking with Will Parkinson. Weekly spot on the show. Trade deadline in the books. Jets 3-6 playing the Cardinals. Will, looking at the state of the AFC, and I'll pull up the standings here. These are accurate besides Kansas City's win on Monday. They're 8-0 now. But you look at where the Jets are, and they're currently the 10th seed right now. You look at the path to the playoffs. If I say to you, how many wins is it going to take for the Jets to be a playoff team? Your answer to that question is?
I think it takes 9, but I don't think they can lose. Like, I don't think, like, they can't lose some of the tiebreaker games. Like, they got to beat Miami. They got to beat Indy. If they lose an NFC game, so be it. They lose to Rams or Seattle or something. Even Arizona, technically, I guess it's not as doom and gloom. You can't really lose, stack up division or conference losses. And getting a couple other more wins in terms of strength of victory. Some of these tiebreakers you really never know. Like they're not going to have the tiebreak over Denver, obviously, or Pittsburgh. But yeah, I think 9 gets you in. I don't know that like there won't be 2 9-win teams that get in at this point. Look at Denver's schedule remaining. Look at Indy. Look at the Chargers. Even look at the Steelers, the Bengals, the Jets. Like a lot of losses. This just feels like an AFC that's very muddled. From 5 through 10, and I think 9 gets in. Has a good chance of getting in, and I think 10's a lock. So, hey man, the Jets have gone on winning streaks before. They finished the year 6. They started the year 6-2, or whatever it was 2 years ago. With a much less talented team. Maybe they can finish 6-2. Over the last 8 here and get themselves in the playoffs.
Ladies and gentlemen, comments, questions, super chats, and your calls on our Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline. We'll say hello to the Hamburger, who's first up today on the show. What's up, Hamburger?
Hey, what's up, Will? What's up, Jake?
Yeah, what's up?
Happy Wednesday. How's everybody feeling today?
Happy Wednesday. Can
Mentally
the Jets win on
drained.
Sunday?
Yes, sir. Listen, man, Woody going, I really think he's going to end up going. I have a feeling that he's going to just be back in the position that he was with Trumpy prior to. So Listen, man, it is what it is. I think Joe Douglas is here for the long haul, man. I really do. At this point now, I think he's coming back. And, you know, it is what it is, man. I'm willing to give second chances. You know, today's all about second chances. You know, it's from getting to the bottom to the top, baby. So for now, the Jets are back on board for me.
Oh, God.
The Jets are back on board for me, baby.
Oh, yeah. It's a nice jacket.
From zero to heroes, baby.
I have the same
From
jacket.
zero to heroes.
Hold on.
Those are nice jackets, man. Those are nice
Thank
jackets right there. I have a similar one, but that one's nice.
I try not to take it out. I don't want to get it all ruined.
We're back, baby.
Oh,
Jacket's
yeah.
off.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what?
No. From
We'll
zero
have the same
to
jacket?
heroes, baby.
Oh, he's got the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
you
yeah.
go. Let's make the Jets great again. Come on, baby.
Hamburger.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much. I'll play that for him because I really do think if they win 5 games or 6 games, then I think it's likely Douglas is gone. They finish 8-9. Don't you see a scenario where Chirs Johnson or Woody, who's ever in charge, is like, I think this GM is pretty good. We have a very good roster. Rodgers wants to come back. He likes Joe Douglas. Devontae's here. He wants to be back. We're going to let Douglas get another crack at hiring the coach because we think he has the right acumen to build a roster. I don't know if that's the right strategy. I would probably just blow the whole thing up, but I could see that being something the Jets decided to do. I really could.
My only thing is, like, I just don't want to get into, like, lame duck GM and new coach would be my biggest fear of, like, unless you were doing a 1 year more with Douglas, 1 year band-aid with Rex. That's like the one scenario I could see where it's like, hey, one more shot at this thing, and if it sucks, we blow it all up. That's kind of more what I could see.
Are we getting fat Rex though? Because that's the only way it's gonna work.
We're getting full toe sucking Rex.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of guys who know a thing or two about sucking on toes, ladies and gentlemen, next up on the Gusbuster Hotline.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Oh, when do I suck on toes? I don't remember that.
I don't know, Bob, but you seem a little freaky.
I think you suck on toes. Okay.
I think you might be right. You might be wrong. You'll never know.
Something about Will today. Gotta burn that hat, boy. Gotta burn that hat.
The USC?
Yeah, I'm a Notre Dame fan. They're gonna kill you at the end of the year. So just saying that. Just put it in your pipe and smoke it.
Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Damn, Bobby.
Yeah, USC Trojans stink. I call them the condom team.
Condom team. Nice.
Yeah. So, Will, it's nice talking to you. I haven't talked to you in a long time.
How you doing, man?
Good. Do you see the thing that Jake have for the video? Me and Michael down at the game.
That was pretty awesome. That was awesome.
But what about Noel? You like Noel?
Yeah, no, that was awesome, man. That's
Oh, we had a great time. We got like VIP treatment down there.
That's
We
great
got
to hear.
like the golf cart, the wheelchair experience. I had everything. We're going out to December 1st to see Addison for his birthday.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Jake, you should come and see Addison.
I have to work. I'm on the radio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there he goes.
I
again.
said yesterday you're going to ask me 15 more times, and my answer will not change, Bob. I have to work.
know. Yes, ESPN, right?
I'm on the radio at 4, so I cannot attend the game.
Right, I forgot. Yeah, because it's at 4 o'clock. The game's at 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes. Anything else on your mind today, Bob?
No, I'm praying that the Jets win this weekend.
Thank you, Bob. We are as well.
Oh, you know I like the Yankees and the Jets. Can't believe Jake and Rogers met. I'm more than just a hat on Bobby.
Bobby still might be high from the kush he smoked at MetLife on Thursday, Will.
Oh, man, that's some good stuff right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Anything else stand out with this team right now, Will? I mean, obviously, it's been almost a week since they saved their season, essentially, with that second half. Do you have faith anything we saw is sustainable, or are you expecting the Jets to come out flat as a pancake like they did the last time? They had a great win on Thursday Night Football, followed by that debacle against Denver at home, losing 10-9 to Bo Nix.
Yeah, I don't see why Devontae and Garrett and Brees isn't sustainable. They're guys that are starting to really get their legs underneath them. Chemistry is there, confidence is brewing. I think that's all very much like sustainable. I think defensively, it's a lot of the stuff that they did in the second half is what we thought they were going to be doing all year. So to me, if the focus is there, the mental errors are limited. They've just been so close all year. It feels like to really popping off that maybe they do get on a run here. It's crazy to me. Look back, man. The one thing all summer, the Jets beat the dog piss out of the Commanders in that joint practice. I mean, absolutely throttled them. And
I was there.
And if you told me the Commanders would be the number 2 seed in the NFC and the Jets would be 3-6 at that time, I would have thought you were high as a mother effer.
That's such a great point. They for those who were there, they remember they kicked the crap out of the Commies that day. Yeah, Tyrod was the quarterback that day in the rain because they didn't want Rodgers to play in the rain. That's so true, man. Garrett was uncoverable that day. It was the greatest training camp practice I probably will ever see. It was ridiculous what he was doing to Emmanuel Forbes the entire day.
Maybe he's not maybe that's the Garrett we're getting the rest of the year,
Sign me up for that. Remember those people that wanted to trade Garrett?
For a 3rd-round pick, I saw some stupid troll accounts like Lattimore and Garrett for 2 threes to the Chiefs. Like, okay.
Well, have you had any cayenne pepper this week? Because I've had it every day.
I had cayenne pepper. I have cayenne pepper every week, man. It's good for you. It certainly a clear you out. You want to lose some weight, man. Put some cayenne pepper in your. No, man. I'm saying you want to cleanse your body. Cayenne pepper will do it for you. You got a stuffy nose. Smell some cayenne pepper. Put it down the hatch, and you'll be rolling.
I'll get it done.
Oh yeah, maybe on your eggs. Maybe on some ground chicken, ground beef, some white rice, some vegetables. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, one last super chat for you, Will. This one's from the great Harvey A. Bouchard. With Mike Williams gone, do you believe it opens it up for Corley? Is you ready?
I believe so. I'd like to see Corley's been blocking his ass off. Look, the one play he touched the ball in the last 8 weeks, he scored a touchdown or almost scored a touchdown. So, maybe it's 1 or 2 screens a game. Maybe it's 1 or 2. Now it's, the Jets run that motion. They can run the football out of it because people are expecting Corley to get the football. It's, he's a guy who the Jets are going to need long-term. And, I was really happy that they all were like, you're an effing idiot. Don't ever do that again. But we're going to make sure you get right back out there and don't shell and crater and kill your confidence. Like, we need you. And I thought that was awesome. And yeah, it'd be really cool if the Jets had another dynamic yak guy, right? Like, Brees is an awesome yak guy. Devontae's unbelievable at yak. Obviously Garrett's gotten better. Like, adding another guy like that would be fantastic, man. And I hope that, I said the bye week he'd be more integrated in the offense. I guess I was a week too late. Hopefully this week is the first week we're like, oh wow, Corley got 3 touches, was in there for 15, 20 plays. He was an interesting factor in the offense.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is Will Parkinson. Will, before you go, Jay on the line has a question for you. Hello, Jay.
Yo.
Hey, what's going on? How you guys doing today?
What's up, man? It's a strong stash you got there.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know you went to Cortland. One of my best friends, his name was Tyreek Burwell.
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
I've heard that name before. I'd have to place the name to a face, but
he played tight end there as well. He ended up going to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Okay, that's why I was like, I know exactly what you mean. He was in the league for a while. He ended up moving to play tackle.
Yeah, man. It's cool, man.
It's
every
awesome.
time I seen you, I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah,
really
man,
quick,
that's awesome.
About to the game. What are some of your points? How would you attack the Cardinals with the personnel that we have as far as contain Murray and stopping the run game? I mean, this is something in the offseason I was very vehement about, stopping the run game, and we have not done anything to stop the run game. I know people talk about getting a defensive tackle, but it's more about the scheme, right? And us doing wide 9 and our defensive linemen are going to attack the ball. You know what I'm saying? Then puts our linebackers in bad spots to make plays, and the offensive line gets free lane to the second level, to take out our linebackers. That's our biggest reason why we can't stop the run. How would you stop the run if you were the D coordinator?
Yeah, so a couple different things. I'd be harping on. We've seen this in the Jets before in certain games. We don't see it often, obviously. Kind of the big thing is like this Jets scheme. The front four is rushing the passer and stop the run on the way by. Right? It's like you have one girl. Maybe it's hey, no more than 2.5 steps upfield. This week. Initially, maybe it's hey, we don't have as many sacks, but we make Kyler, a pocket quarterback for the entirety of the game. So maybe it's, it's not rushing as hard upfield. I think it's on guys like McDonald, Clemens, Reddick, and Saul Thomas, who would be, excuse me, the edge rushers of, maybe it's just being very, very smart with when you use your spin move, when you use kind of some rips and swim moves, like not to over rush and open up these lanes. And then from the linebacker perspective, don't get caught peeking inside, and make the Cardinals beat you all 3 downs or all 4 downs. If you give 3 yards a pop, I know it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust and whatever and all that stuff, but like in today's NFL, if you make teams do that, they will make mistakes. Try to limit the big plays, and you want to spy Kyler, obviously. So I don't know, like Marv's probably going to be a stud in this league, but if Marv beats Sauce for 3 touchdowns on Sunday, I feel like you live with it, because you're like, all right, this is a guy that we're going to be potentially paying $25 million a year. If he's getting beat like that, like best on best, we lose. And it comes down to, honestly, like defense aside, if this offense can start hot, hey, we're up 10-0 after 1. The Cardinals teams just abandon the run. It's one of the biggest flaws in offensive coordinators around the league is they're just so impatient that, like, I don't know. It's what they did to the Patriots, right? This was the same talking point, different group, obviously, but the talking point before week 3 was like, what if the Patriots run the ball 50 times? And like the Jets got out to 10-0, I believe, early on, or 14-10 or whatever, or 14-0, whatever it was. Patriots had to abandon the run, and they started just teeing off on Brissett. That's the plan. That would be the plan for me. And look, Houston runs the ball better, I think, than Arizona. And the Jets were able to figure it out because they started getting up, and they made the Texans have to abandon the run a little bit. I'd hope you do the same thing this weekend.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you, Jake.
No, thanks, man.
Jay, appreciate you, man. Keep up the great work. Nobody out pizzas the hut quite like Jay, our favorite Pizza Hut employee. Will, tremendous job by you. Appreciate you hopping on. And I will simply say this. Let's go Jets. Win on Sunday, please, for the love of God.
Please. I'd like to come on here again next week, and we can really start to have a conversation of, can this run really happen?
Hey, you get the 5 and 6 at the bye, they got a shot, but that's the only way.
5 and 6 at the bye, and turnover Gino coming to town December 1st.
Turnover Gino. I love it. Will, God bless. Thank you, sir.
Have a good one, guys.
Will Parkinson, TOJ Podcast, Badlands. Check it out. Does a great job covering the Jets. Comments, questions, super chats, open phone lines. If anyone wants in the conversation, I'll stay on a little while longer here. Robert checks in. Where would you rank Jets ownership? I mean, it's got to be towards the bottom of the league. Especially now that Dan Snyder sold. Or Snyder, I think is his name. He's gone. I mean, Giants ownership is pretty bad, too, if we're being honest. At least the last decade. They've been a dumpster fire. But look, the thing about Woody Johnson, and Will and I talked about it, when he bought the team in 2000, from 2000 until 2016, they never had back-to-back losing seasons. And then Woody went to the UK, Chirs Johnson came in, hired Adam Gase, and it all went to you-know-what, and they haven't recovered. This year was supposed to be the year, and it's been a nightmare so far. Last week aside. Let's hope they could go on a run. You know, the Jets typically maybe start okay, and then they collapse. Let's hope it's the reverse this year. You know, the biggest beneficiary, though, of Woody Johnson's ownership tenure has been John Mara. He's almost as bad as Woody, if you look at it. Obviously, they've won Super Bowls. It's different. But since 2012, what have the Giants done? They made the playoffs once. Actually, they made the playoffs twice, so that's 2 more than the Jets. But look how many times the Giants are just completely out of it. I mean, they're giving Daniel Jones 6 years. And we had Zach Wilson for 3. Imagine Daniel Jones for 6. And, like, I'll give you guys a crazy stat I said on the radio about the Giants the other day. I'm trying to find it here. I got to scroll through some of my bookmarks here. Hold on. It'll be worth your time. Giants in the first 8 games since 2017. 1-7, 1-7, 2-6, 1-7, 2-6. 2022 they were 6-2. That was the outlier. 2-6, 2-6, and now they lost Sunday, so they're now 2-7. So it's the same bleep every year with one exception since 2017. Like, the Jets have given us some false hope, but they've been, they've obviously been horrible. The Giants have just been horrible from the jump. The Jets even last year started 4-3. I think the Browns ownership is bad, right? The Haslam family. I mean, Jerry Jones' teams win in the regular season, but with him there, it just feels like they're never going to get back to what they were. I don't know. Bobby Midnight writes in, Jake, no one talking about the Giants on the Jet channel. You get mad at me all the time. Someone asked me about where the Jets ownership group ranks. So we were talking about owners in the NFL, Bobby. We were not specifically talking about the Giants. I mean, Bobby, come on, man. What's happening to you? I'm convinced you haven't had a whole lot of sleep since you went wild and crazy a week ago at MetLife. What's going on with you, Bob?
Just shut the fuck up. I did not ask for the damn opinion that came out of your ass, so shut the fuck up.
We're using Bob's own stupid town on him. All right, last chance to get in. Comments, questions, your super chats always cut the line on the show. Appreciate everyone supporting the show. You guys are great. We'll be back in the afternoon today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Jeff Parles is joining us in his weekly spot on the show. We'll get Jeff's thoughts on the state of the Jets, which is always interesting. You missed it yesterday, the Asmaniac Power Rankings for the month of October. First time we've done a monthly power ranking. They have been released. Check out the first show yesterday when we went through it. It's timestamped in the comments when it starts. Keep timestamping your favorite moments during the show as well. I want to make sure people get a chance to experience anything they might have missed. Let's see. Rob says, Jake, though you're right, other than the lucky Super Bowls, they've been horrible. You can't call them lucky, Rob, but since they won that second Super Bowl, they've been awful. Outside of 2 playoff years, which is more than the Jets. So the Maras are better than the Johnsons until proven otherwise. But, 2015 or 16, they made the playoffs. They were 1-done against Rodgers and the Packers that year. 2022, they beat the Vikings that year and then got destroyed by the Eagles. That's about it. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe our final call. Doug in his room is next. Hello, Doug.
I got to be better. I'm 19 in the power rankings. I got to be better. 25 is a little too much. I would agree with you. That was a lot to read out for you yesterday.
I think you got to start calling from the couch, Doug. The room is not helping you.
The Jets haven't been good enough for me to call from the couch. They start winning. If they go on a win streak, I'll start calling from the couch.
I don't know, man. I think you need to go on the couch to try and get the winning streak started. They're 1-1 in a row. We need you on the couch for this game.
If they win on Sunday, I will. After Sunday, I will call every stream from the couch if they win on Sunday.
Wow, Bobby just went up and in on you. He says Doug is a 35 caller.
35 caller. Well, that's hurtful, Bobby. That's hurtful. I'm not gonna lie. But we're all entitled to our opinions, so I'm not gonna judge.
Way to take the high road, Doug.
Yeah, crazy how the Jets fans might be the most affected by the people who I'm kidding, not the most affected, but the Jets fans somehow get affected by the results of last night.
Yeah, Chris could be back, baby. He's coming.
The Jets tie into everything. We tie into everything in the world. Just so the Jets are the New York Jets is what makes the world go round. That's what we learned from last night. Kidding. But no, yeah, crazy stuff that we're actually having an effect from this. But hopefully we win Sunday. Again, if we win Sunday, I will call from the couch every game, every stream after that I call in. I will call from the couch if we win on Sunday afternoon. That's my promise to get better in the power rankings, and I will continue with my high decorum. Unlike some of the other callers that you call in, I will treat everyone with respect.
Tom Ace, who's on the committee, says calling from the couch would bring up his ranking 3 spots at least.
Well, stay tuned for 4:00 then today.
Oh,
that's what we call a tease in the business, folks.
That is what we call it. Doug, excellent job out of you. Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, Jake.
Doug in his room for now, but maybe on the couch for the second stream this afternoon. J Quest goes, wow, Doug just killed Bobby with that one. Bobby, would you like to respond to Douglas? Lumpy says, there are so many great callers, and all are great. All are great. Although, I am curious where one of our great callers has been recently. We have not heard from Charles Eugene M. Gorman on this program in a very long time.
Excuse me.
These are the questions we need the answers to. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline to respond to Doug on the couch is...
Well, you know, I've grown to love my buddy Alan, but South S has to go. I threw him off my show. I'm Bobby.
With that answer, I think he should drop down 10 spots for that.
Wow.
Like 45 he should be. And where have you been lately? I don't see you calling lately, Doug on the room or Doug on the couch. You haven't been around all summer. Where have you been lately, Buster Brown?
Well, I can tell you how many times Doug called during the month of October, Bobby. I have the stats from our chairman, Boomtown, who has the numbers here.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Hold on. I will get it. I can't open it up from my phone because Discord is stupid, so I got to go on the website. Yada, yada, yada. Boomtown, send me PDFs for all this. That'll be helpful. Actually, Boomtown just gave us the stat. I don't even need the check. Doug called in 16 times this past month, Bob. That's a lot.
Oh, I called him more than that. So sorry, Charlie. Bye.
But that doesn't mean you're a better caller than Doug.
Oh, Doug's a lot better on the couch than I'm on my... Okay.
Well, it's not about how many times you call in. It's about impact.
Okay, Doug. Let him back in. Let's see.
Doug joins us right now.
Bobby, it's not about the quantity of calls. It's about the quality.
Well, your quality sucks.
That's your opinion. You're entitled to that, but I don't think everyone agrees with your opinion. So,
well, what's your opinion about me then?
Your opinion, Bobby. I enjoy my calls in. Do I enjoy your call-ins all the time? No, but
I don't enjoy any of your calls. So
okay, that's your opinion. I'm not going to knock you for that.
Bye.
It's your opinion. I was having a friendly discourse, Bobby. You hate to see it.
Boomtown, send me an email with the complete caller list. I'm having an issue here, and Bobby's gone. Sad.
I guess Bobby's not a fan. That's unfortunate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Man, Tom Race writes in, like this moment right here, boost their rankings for November. I agree.
I guess I'll never be a guest caller on the Bobby Midnight Show. That's unfortunate. I was really looking forward to calling in one night, but
Bobby, can you call back in? Let's get you and Doug on the same page. Let's kiss and make up around here. All right, we don't need to be so divided today. We're divided enough as a country.
I have no problem with Bobby. I love Bobby Midnight. He thinks I suck,
and I think Bobby is a sweetheart of a guy, and the two of you could come together, and we all could be okay.
I'm not able to call in like an unlimited amount of times. I call in when I can. Sometimes when you are on stream, I am at work, so I don't call in. And then some of the late night streams after a game, I'm tired and I go to bed. I'm sorry.
Bobby's been very angry. Luppy writes in, Bobby's under the weather. It makes him a bit angry. J-Quest says Bobby has to chill. Doug's a good dude. Mike D's nuts in the house says, why is Bobby attacking people?
I just ELE. Everybody needs to love everybody.
J Brown, Bobby turning into a diva. Brooklyn born, Bobby getting a little too full of himself. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the Gusbuster hotline right now to respond.
Well, you know, I love the Yankees and the Jets, and to read the super chats are more than just a hat. Bobby.
Bobby, you know, I also love the
You
Yankees.
say you don't like my calls. I asked you about my calls. Oh, I don't like your calls at all. So.
I didn't say I don't like your
Yes,
calls.
you did. Repeat.
Well, you said if you don't like my calls, I don't like yours, but I like your calls.
You say you did not like my calls. That's what came out of your potholes.
I think he said he doesn't like all of your calls all the time.
So where are you from originally?
Where am I from? Originally, New Jersey.
Originally all your life?
I grew up in New Jersey. I was born in Massachusetts, but I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, what part of Massachusetts?
Newton, Massachusetts.
That's the reason why.
But I grew up and spent my entire formative leave.
All right, let's forgive and forget. Okay, let's drop this.
Hey, I'm good, Bobby. I'm
you
good.
You can come on my show anytime you want. Okay.
Good to know. When I can, I will call in.
Okay, maybe you'll be on your couch next time.
Maybe.
Okay.
But we're good, Bobby?
Yes, we're good now. Bye now.
Good. Everybody needs to love everybody.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
Love you too.
Well, you know, I'm getting really freaking pissed. I thought I saw Gary's pretty wife. I need to get some sleep. I'm baby.
And that's how we come together right there as a country. There it is. As Tom Ace writes in, peace in our time. This is a beautiful moment. Amen. I got my USA flag right here. We just came together as a country live on the show. That's how it's done. Love it. Tremendous. Only our country could follow what what Doug and Bobby just did. Ladies and gentlemen, any other beefs need to be settled during the show? I got some time right now. I do have the caller list now from October. It was just sent to me by the great Boomtown, ladies and gentlemen. With a record of 30 calls, the top caller in the month of October was the Hamburger. Gary, number 2 at 29. Kyle Clifton, number 3 at 23. Bobby Midnight tied for third with Kyle Clifton at 23. Alan, 22 with 4. Alan just couldn't wait to come back to the show. He's addicted. He is addicted. He can't get enough of it. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug on the couch last room called in 16 times. Indomitable 18. Neil 21. Nate 15. Rob the Jet Fan 14. Castro in 14th place at 10. JJ 15th overall at 10. So we had a tie there for 14th/15th place. King Lowski had 9. Tim from Fishland 8. Purple Belt Mike 8. Lane Train 8. Jerome 7. We the People 7. BMAC 7. Indy Jet 7. Bonesy 7. Phil 7. Big Fella 6. Scott 6. Ricky 6. NY Jet Florida 6. Michael Levinson 6. James B 6. 25 6. Tristan Oliver 5. Jay Graves 5. Cheech Fan 4. Jay Quest 4. Craig in Australia 4. Ken from San Diego 4. Paul Faz 4. Alec K 4. Luppy 4. Number 1 Grinder 4. Chef Kevin 4. Barbarossa. I could do this all day. We took 600 calls in the month of November. I'll spare everyone the rest. Gator writes in, Jake, why are you always mad? Asking for Bobby, who is always mad. I don't know, Gator. I consider myself a happy-go-lucky character. Tom Ace, where are you from? Is the ultimate icebreaker. That's my favorite part of Bobby always dealing with beefs. He just goes, where are you from? And then this person says where they're from. Then he goes, oh, I'm from here. Do you know where this place is? Every time. Rob V, Jay Quest to be a top seed in no time. I think Jay Quest has another big run in him come tournament time. I do. Okay. I think we're done here. Thank you all. We'll be back with Jeff Parles in the afternoon. Who knows what will happen? Could be wild. Could be crazy. Could be insane. Who knows? Nobody knows. Klamala says, Bobby is reasonable when he wants to be. I would agree. STA says Trump should hire Bobby to de-escalate foreign relations. Not a bad idea. Where are you from? Oh, Gaza. I know Gaza. God. All right. We're done here. Thank you all. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You guys are great. Content next couple days will be a little different. I'm going to squeeze in an early show with Nick Farrier tomorrow morning because I have a flight to Montreal for a bachelor party. So I'll try and squeeze in a show Friday and Saturday. I'll be back Sunday for the Jet game, so we'll be able to do a post-game show right after the game. So check the Discord for updates when we're going live, but we'll be live this afternoon, normal time, 4 p.m. Eastern, with Jeff Parles joining the show. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. You guys are awesome. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Hey, there we go. Light it up, Ricky. Yeah, let's get back to your calls right now. One of our favorites is on the Ghostbuster hotline. Ricky NY joins us now. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Ricky, how you doing?
Thanks for taking my call, Jake. I just finished smoking all the available weed in the panhandle, so bear with me if I collapse here in front of my personalized flag. Any chance you could send that boxing guy, Gary, to the Jameis Winston town? Maybe Gator can build a special hall for quarterbacks who throw more interceptions than completed passes. Well, not a Florida guy, but can go to Seminoles all the way there. They've got a whole lot. Let's get all of them in there. I don't give a shit. Well, I think I got to relight this thing. Hold on a second. I just got this new blowtorch lighter. Let's try it out. Try it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Should have backed off that setting a bit. Anyway, Jake, I'll hang up for now and grab the burn kit again. Later, brother.
Oh, my God.
Yo, Gator is different, man. That dude is different.
Excuse me, miss. I need to return this damn child. He's no good. Sometimes a child just is no good. Take this one back.
I think in classic Charles Gorman fashion, I saw a comment from Charles that said, "Who is Knoble?" as we played a full video explaining exactly who Knoble is. So, Charles, I go to you next. Do you still not know who Knoble is?
I think Lane Train's an idiot. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
What do you mean he's an idiot?
He's making stuff up. Who's Knoble? I looked him up on the internet and he's not there.
He is. He went to college.
Guys, stop it. Seriously, I know the bullshit coming out of your mouth. It's bullshit.
Charles, I don't like your tone.
Here,
Charles.
how do you spell Knoble?
Charles, I don't need to dignify your nonsense. See you later. Get out of here. How do you spell Knoble? Doesn't matter how to spell Knoble. All that matters is he's one of the great prospects we've ever seen.
On the 2022 draft pick, the pick goes to Knoble out of college.
More of your calls right now. Let's go to Jake Klein. What's up, Jake?
Well, actually, first off, for 1 second, who's Knoble?
No, he's a phenomenal prospect for the New York Jets.
I tried Googling it. It said like amusement park things. I was like, I don't know.
No, he played at college.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll Google it another time, but
see you later. Jake, thanks for the time. Charles writes in, enough with the chicken soup talk. I'm pissed because of the stupidity this show has succumbed to. Hello, Charles.
Enough with the stupidity. I understand this Lane Train guy may be a nice guy, but does he even know what he's talking about? I've been looking this Kenobi guy nonstop. Here, I'll share my screen with you. I know you're laughing, Jake.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
Knoble.
Type in Knoble out of college. It comes right up. It's like the first search. Type it in.
I am out of college. There's no such thing as him.
You believe everything you see on the internet? You're telling me your Google is accurate right now?
Yes, it is accurate.
How is it possible, Charles, if Knoble's not real, that Gator was able to put together an entire draft profile?
Knoble, FP football player from college. He is 5'7", 109.8 LBS. Prospect grade 0.0, production score 69, and an athletic score of 007. He's very good, gets flag penalties, but he's very, very good, and I'm very good at this, taking football players.
You're defending Lane Train. That's what you're doing.
He played for the Rhinos. You just saw it.
Jake, if you want to lose a subscriber, stop right now.
Charles, I will take Lane Train over anybody. So if you're going to unsubscribe to my channel over Lane Train, then you know what? You got to do what you got to do.
Stop defending Lane Train.
Charles.
The guy doesn't know what he's talking about, Jake. How about stop lying to yourself, stop lying to these people, and actually say the truth? I'm on your Discord, and one guy called Frankie Castle agrees with me.
Charles, I'll just keep playing Lane Train Sounders if you keep slandering the man.
I'm not slandering the man. I'm telling him. But you know what? I'm not in the mood right now. Goodbye.
Charles, thank you for the time. Well, people, are you Team Lane or Team Charles? I'm glad this guy called in because he was slandered earlier, and I will not stand for this.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
The Lane Train. What's up, Lane Kerner?
How are you? Great. The two for this draft coming up, who do you take going into the 10th round for the draft? Do you take Brian, or do you want to take there's a lot of different players. Who do you think?
Who's Brian?
Yeah, the guy that he drafted. Brian, what's his last name? Brian, you know?
What's Brian's last name? Do you know?
I forgot. There's a lot of other ideas. So who do you see going to the Jets in the 10th round, in the first round?
I really want them to take Knoble, and you brought him up a couple times.
Yeah, I know. But what happens if they don't get him? Then what do you do? Do you maybe go after somebody else? I don't think we need anybody else. I mean, I think that, you're going to work around the whole team going into next year.
Great point. Lane, thank you for the call. I hope you had a good Sunday.
You too. Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Charles's head is spinning after that call. Chugga, 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 choo, choo.